So hello and welcome to another demonstration. Today we're going to be looking at the site content area, and we're actually going to be focusing on creating and editing slideshows and galleries. Now, as you can see on my screen here, I've already got the Intelligent Golf demo support website up, and I already at this stage have a page that I've created where I'm going to create and place my slideshow and gallery on, which I can see under information, and I've got a page here called Lee. Before we begin, we're going to go into the admin and site content area. And within the green navigation bar, we're going to be going into the tab here at the top called Slideshows. Now, before we start creating a slideshow or a gallery, there's a couple of things that we need to do beforehand in order to sort of prepare and get ready to be able to do this process. Now, the first thing that we need to do is obviously decide where we're going to place the slideshow, which I've already done. As I've said, under the information menu, I'm just going to be placing it onto my page here. The reason that this is important is because with a slideshow, less so with galleries, we need to know what size the slideshow is going to be displayed at. Obviously, this will differ if you're viewing the website on a mobile device or a tablet. The website will shrink or enlarge itself depending on the device and screen size that you're currently viewing the website on. The other reason that it's quite important to have the size ready is because any image that we upload to a slideshow must match the exact size that we put into the slideshow. The reason to why we would do this is because if we upload images of of varying different sizes and resolutions, we may end up with some unexpected results. So it's always best to work this information out beforehand, know where we're going to be putting the slideshow, and therefore add any images that we want to be in the slideshow or gallery. We're actually going to modify those first and ensure that those sizes match. Now, I've already prepared some images, which I will be adding to my slideshow, which you should all be able to see here. So I had these 6 images at the top of various different sizes, and I've now modified them all to the same size with these images down below. So that is one thing that you really do need to be doing before beginning any of this process. Now, depending on your website and where you're going to be placing the slideshow, some of you may be using different sizes. So have a little look at where you're going to be placing it and then choose what size. If you are unsure or you need some advice, don't hesitate to give us a call or send us a ticket or an email, contact us, and we'll be more than happy to advise if you're ever unsure. Now, we're going to go back onto the website now. We're now in the slideshow area. You'll see on this page any pre-existing slideshows that have already been created. So we can see one here at the top left called New Slides. And that's just one that we've created earlier for demonstration purposes. Underneath that, we have the ability to create a new slideshow. So it will first ask you what the title of the slideshow is going to be. So I'm just going to call this My Slideshow. And as it says, the title can only contain letters, numbers, underscores, and spaces. So please don't use any other symbols like apostrophes and symbols or anything like that. After the name or title of the slideshow, we're then going to be asked to select a size. Now, to help everyone out, we have got 4 default sizes to choose from. The first one is an in-page slideshow, which says the width and height here. Now, this size is exactly the same as the default video on YouTube. So just to give you a little bit of an idea of what you can sort of refer it back to. Now, 3 of the other default sizes that you can pick from are full screen, full width header, and in-page header. As the name suggests, a full screen slideshow will cover most of your screen if you're viewing it on a desktop or mobile device or tablet. The full width header is not as big in terms of the height, but will still cover the full width of the web page. And in-page header, which can be a bit more useful for, let's say, members pages or inner pages on the visitor's website. It's roughly the same size in terms of height as the full width header, but it's not as wide. So there will be a gap either side of the slideshow on the left and right hand side of the page. Now, if you don't want to use any of these default sizes, that's absolutely fine. We can just type in a size into the width and the height. Now, the images I've prepared earlier, I've already resized them to be a width of 800 pixels and have a height of 400 pixels. So to match that, I'm going to type in 800 into the width and 400 into the height. Now, when I click submit, it's going to create a brand new slideshow. Now, whether we're creating a brand new slideshow or gallery or editing a one that already exists, we're going to get the same screen here. So at the top, it gives us the name of the slideshow, the option to upload images, which we're going to do in just a moment, but then it gives us some details about the slideshow. So we can see here that it shows me the height and width that I've put in and requested. Now, if you are editing an existing slideshow and you're unsure what size it currently is, and therefore what size your images need to be before you upload them, this is one way that you can check. So if this was a slideshow that I was actually just adding images to and not creating from scratch, I would then go away, find the images I want, and modify them to match that exact size. Again, if I start uploading images which are very different to this size, then you may end up with some unexpected results. If the images are smaller than the slideshow, it will try and enlarge the images, and you may find the images will display sort of distorted, and the image quality won't be as it was. You can sort of get around this for, in one particular example. If, for instance, let's say, I've got my slideshow at 800 width and 400 height. If my images were 1600 width and 800 height, that's absolutely fine. As long as the aspect ratio is exactly the same, and as long as the images are not smaller than the slideshow width and height that you've chosen, or that is already there if you're editing a pre-existing slideshow or gallery. Underneath the width and height, we have the interval. Now, the interval simply just chooses how many seconds it takes between switching from image 1 to image 2 to image 3, and so forth and so on. Any changes that you do make to these settings, do make sure that you click save to ensure that those changes take effect. Otherwise, if you leave this page, the settings will revert to what they were. Now, we've got our blank slideshow here, so we're actually going to start looking at adding some images. Again, I've already created and edited some images to match the correct size. So I could either click on this box and select them from my computer, or I can just drag and drop the images on top of the box. Now, I'm just going to add the 6 images that I created earlier today and just place them onto here. You'll see they'll upload with a green progress bar, and once they're fully green, you'll know that they've uploaded successfully. You'll also notice at the top right of my screen is a notification to tell me that the images have been uploaded as well. The moment that the images have been uploaded, you will then be able to scroll down and see the images here. So we can see the 6 images that I've added will now appear on the left-hand side. Now at this point, we can then start looking at some of the other features within the slideshow or gallery. The options that you've got available to you, if you have a look next to each image, there is the option to delete the picture if you no longer wish the image to be displayed in the slideshow or gallery. Please note that there is no undo button, so do be very careful if you are deleting images, because once they are removed, there is no option to sort of re-add them, unless you re-upload them to the slideshow, in which case you can put them back. Now, you've also got an option to crop the image. If I select here, it'll actually open the image up. And I do get the ability to click and drag a rectangular area on top of the image, which will then crop it and actually change which part of the image is going to be displayed in the slideshow or gallery. Now, this method is absolutely fine, but I do prefer, my preference is to modify the images and crop them to the exact size that you want before uploading them. And then you know 100% the images are going to be displayed exactly as you wish them to be. So because I've already done this, I don't need to worry about cropping any images on this case. So I can just go back to the slideshow. Now there are three other options that you have on this page. Next to each image, we can actually add a title, a link, and some text down below. These are optional extras. You don't have to fill these out if you don't want to, but essentially if we gave it a title or wrote some text on the image, what it's going to do is actually display that text on top of the picture when we're viewing the slideshow. It will normally appear on top of a semi-transparent background on top of the image, although that may differ in terms of color slightly depending on your website design. So it may be slightly different than what you may see on from one website to another. Again, just down to the design. There is also the ability to add a link to a picture. Now, for instance, if you had a slideshow or gallery that, let's say it was a sponsors slideshow full of different logos, you could then add a link directly to the sponsor's website, or like the example on the page says, if you've got a slideshow with, let's say, posters of special offers, or let's say green free rates, membership rates, you could also put in a link going directly from those. So if I had a page, say like the example, special offers, I could simply type / special _ offers. If it's a sponsor's website, then we could just type in the full web address. So that might be http:// www.intelligentgolf.co.uk. Then anytime someone selected that image, it would actually open up a new tab on their web browser and take them to that website. Now for this slideshow, I purely just want to display the images, so I'm actually not going to use it on this particular occasion. Now at this point, there is also one other option that you do get if you ever decide that the images that you have, whether it's going to be a slideshow or a gallery, and you decide that actually, the second image on the list needs actually to be displayed first, absolutely fine. You don't need to delete the image and re-upload it. You can simply place the mouse cursor on top of the picture. You'll see the mouse cursor change. And if you left click and hold the mouse down, you can drag and drop the images. See, just like that. Again, any changes that you do make, please do go to the bottom of the page and click save to ensure any of the changes do take effect straight away. Now at this point, I've got my slideshow created. I've got my images. I can now start beginning looking at actually adding the slideshow or the gallery, depending on which you want, to the site content page. Now the two differences between the slideshow and the gallery is if you have a slideshow, it is more useful if you've just got a handful of images that you want to display, whether it be in the background or that you want everyone to see each individual image one after the other. If you've got quite a lot of images, let's say you've just held a major competition at the club and you want to allow people to select a particular image. Let's say we've got 50 pictures. We don't want members or visitors to have to go through each image and try and find the picture that they wish to view. We want to allow them to pick and choose which image that they want to have a look at. In this situation, a gallery is much more useful because on the left hand side of a gallery, which I will show you shortly, is actually going to show you a list of images, a thumbnail image of each picture you've uploaded, and you can actually pick and choose which picture you wish to view at any time. So it's a lot more useful if the amount of images, if this is quite a lot of them. Now, in order to add the slideshow or gallery to a web page, if you have a look at the top here, we've got these two lines of text. Now, each line, one of them at the top, mentions about the slideshow, and the second line mentions about the gallery. Now, we can simply copy and paste these tags into any site content page, and then when we paste them in and view it, it's actually going to show us either the slideshow or gallery, or maybe we might have both. Now, there is one thing to note: if you are adding a slideshow or a gallery, it must be directly onto a site content page. It's not possible to add it directly to an email. If you wish to send an email out with a slideshow or gallery, what you want to be doing is adding the slideshow or gallery to a web page in site content first, and then on the email, create a link to the page with the gallery or slideshow on, in exactly the same way as you would do a YouTube video, if any one of you have added a YouTube video in the past. Now, we've copied our site content tag, so we're going to go into admin and site content. And from here, we're going to go into the page that we wish to place the slideshow or gallery on. As you can see on the left-hand side, I've got my page here called Lee that I've created earlier on for this demonstration. Now I'm going to click Edit Content, and as you can see, I've got a nice blank page here that I can start working on. I've already added some subheadings, so I know where each slideshow and each gallery is going to be placed. Obviously, for anyone following this tutorial along, you guys will probably have some pre-existing pages that already has some content. This is just for demonstration purposes that we have this page created here. So I'm going to paste my slideshow tag into here, and then I'm going to click Save and Exit, because we're actually going to add in the gallery as well. So we're going to go back through admin, site content, and then into slideshows here. I'm now going to click on the slideshow I created earlier called My Slideshow. And this time, to add the gallery, I'm just going to copy and paste the tag, just as I did with the slideshow. So we're going to go back into site content, select the page that we're editing, and once in here, I can then paste the gallery tag. Now, the tags are very, very similar. So you will notice that each of these tags, and again, if you've ever used a tag on the site content area or emails in the past, you will notice that they all follow the same format. So all of our tags always start with a brace. The name of the tag, which case in this particular example, it's new slideshow. And the name of the tag is always in capital letters. In this case, we then put an equal symbol and the name of the slideshow. So if I had a slideshow called slideshow #1, I would just type that in and then end it with a brace. I could then switch it over to a gallery just by replacing new slideshow with the word gallery. So once you've got the slideshow or gallery created, you can simply just copy and paste the tag into any site content page. Now, if I save and exit this, we can then start having a look at the slideshow itself or the gallery and have a look and see what it's going to look like to members or visitors who are viewing the website. So we're going to go into the home page where we're already logged in as a member, and under the information menu, I have my demonstration page called Lee here. As the page loads, you'll now see that the tags instantly transform into the slideshow and the gallery. So we can see the slideshow going around there. It's going from one image to the next, and that will happen automatically. If I place my mouse cursor on top, I can actually force it to change image. There we go. And on the left-hand side of the picture, I can also go back. So if anyone does manually want to skip to the next image or the previous one, they can just use those arrows. Otherwise, if I take my mouse away, the slideshow will just continue to go from one image to the next. Now, if we scroll down, you'll also see the gallery. So, as I mentioned earlier, the gallery will give you a preview of the images, a smaller version on the left-hand side, and I can actually just click on any one of these and it will show me on the right-hand side the full-size image. With the gallery, there is still the option for you to click the next photo or previous photo here, or if they wish to view them all, they can click play slideshow. There is also an option for pausing the slideshow if they wish to pause it, and then it will just stay on whichever picture or image that they have currently displayed. So again, as I said, the gallery is much more useful if you've got a lot of images. It allows the person to pick and choose which picture that they wish to view at any time, rather than going through one image to the next on the slideshow. Now that's it for basically sort of creating the slideshows and galleries. There are a couple more tips and tricks, and I will go back and sort of recover in a second a couple of bits in case anyone missed them earlier. So when it comes to initially setting up your slideshow and gallery, I said the most important thing before we begin is the size. If I just select the slideshow that I created earlier, it shows me the width and the height. Now at this point, I had already modified and edited some images to match this resolution, this size. If you're at the stage where you have a pre-existing slideshow and you need to edit the images, all of you, if you're using Windows PCs, will have programs like Paint. There are various other programs that are available for free that are open source that you can download and use to modify the pictures. But do ensure that you modify, change the picture size, crop them, make any changes that you wish to before uploading them to the website. Otherwise, you may end up with unexpected results, as I said earlier. So a common example is if you've got a landscape slideshow and you wish to upload a picture which is a portrait size, you're going to end up with a very, very different looking picture once it displays, because the resolution does not match that on the website. So do remember to do that first before uploading images. That is probably the number one call that we get where images aren't displaying quite as a club would like them when they go to view the image as a member or a visitor would. If anyone is ever unsure about editing images or what size that you want a slideshow to be, don't hesitate to give us a call, drop us a ticket or an email, and we can have a look at whatever page that you want the image to be on. We can sort of see and advise what size may be best. Now, it is entirely possible that you can change the size of the image or the size of the slideshow after you've already created it. So I could easily just type in a brand new size into here. But if you are modifying the size of a slideshow or gallery that it already exists on the website, do ensure that you remove any images which don't match that size and upload a new set of images. Again, you're going to get unexpected results, or the images may appear distorted, and therefore the quality of the picture will be lost. As long as the size of the slideshow and the image match, you should have no problems with creating and editing a slideshow. And as I said, it's just then a case of adding the tag to wherever you want the slideshow to be. Now, as for tags, these are listed as well in the slideshow area. You can also go into admin, help and support inside the site content area. If I scroll down, the second from last in the list will say, how do I use functions and tags? So that actually does contain a list of all the available tags as well, so you can see what tags are available and how to use them. Another help article that you may find useful in site content again is how to create a slideshow. So everything we are talking about here is in a help article, but again, don't hesitate to contact us. So that's it pretty much for today, and we'll be back shortly with another demonstration. Okay, cheers, bye.